afternoon, everybody. It is 2:22 p.m. Eastern Time on December 18th, 2020. You're in the home stretch, people. We're almost over this. 2020 is almost to an end. Today, this afternoon, actually, because I did a broadcast earlier this morning, we are doing a live broadcast on Facebook for Tales from the Heart podcast series. So this will be available in the podcast next week, with an author, and her name is Ruth Ann Anderson, and I've known Ruth Ann a long time, and we're going to welcome her to our broadcast and find out how come I know her. Welcome, Ruth Ann.
Well, thank you, Lisa, for having me on.
Happy to do so. So I do a lot of these broadcasts now, and we're talking to all different people. Tales from the Heart is the name of the podcast, and we hope to share lots of different points of view from the HCM community. This morning, I interviewed Dr. Hugh and Ashley on this very heavy book. And today, this afternoon, we get to take it down a notch, and we're going to talk about a fictional character. But before we get into the book, can you tell our viewers and listeners how we came to know each other and how you're involved in the HCM community?
Well, first, I am a parent warrior. I have two children. Well, actually, I have three children, but two with HCM. And I actually will take this time to say that without HCMA or Lisa's help, I don't think we would have either had a diagnosis, or I'm not sure if my middle son would have lived. So Lisa, thank you.
Very happy.
It'll choke me up a bit, but there was a lot of diagnosis being done on Brody, and it wasn't him. Doctors were telling him to go back on the soccer field. You can continue, and if he did that, you know the story. But he felt wrong. He knew he couldn't do this, and I listened to him, and then we got a hold of you, luckily, and you led us on the right path.
And you got good doctors in your son as well today.
Yes, he is.
And that's the magic sauce there. So how long ago was that? It was a while ago.
It was a while ago. He is now 28 years old, and he was a freshman in high school. So this is about when you were starting up or close to it.
It was the early days. My goodness, I'm feeling very old today. You and Ashley and I were talking about things you did 12 years ago.
I have to say my middle child's 28, so yikes.
Yeah, that does get a little rough, but yeah, your middle child's 28. So it's been a while, and his course with HCM has been okay. He's doing all right.
Yes.
That's great. And you live in Georgia. Is he still in Georgia with you?
No, he's in Detroit. I don't know if I should say where he works.
No, don't say where he works. But he's living away from home now in a different state.
He is.
So you wrote a children's book, but this is not your first one. Can you tell us a little bit about your work?
It was always a kind of a dream of mine to be an author, but I don't know. I just put that way on the back burner, and I guess you could say it all started when, or these mass books started when my oldest son and his fiance decided to do a destination wedding in Iceland.
Ooh. And
I am a professional photographer, or now retired. Thanks, COVID. But we went to Iceland, and I fell in love with it, and I wanted a story to tell his or their future children.
Oh.
And I came up with this rhyming story, and I was so intrigued with Iceland that I gathered all the fun facts. So it's a story and then fun facts mixed in, and it's a series of 3 books. So it takes you along from learning about puffins. And then the second one is Off the Beaten Path, which is all farmlands. And because their farms are amazing there. And then the third is Fire and Ice. So it's all the ice glaciers and volcanoes, and of course the lava pools and the like Blue Lagoon. And so I took these puffins through where my son and his wife honeymooned and got married, and and their pictures in the middle book as well, because they were riding horses on their wedding day.
Oh, how beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So things progressed and those books went well. So you said, I'm going to try a different series.
Yes, well, actually, in between, I did a couple YA books, young adult, and they're actually based off my real life.
Oh,
So I lived on a sailboat for a full year with my parents and brother. So Girl Sailing Aboard the Western Star is about my life, and journaling, because it is basically my journal from back then. So it is fiction because I did not publish it word for word from my journal. And then in the mix of that, I rode horses, showed horses, and I happened to train with one of the most famous equitation instructors in the world,
oh,
and in American saddlebred horses. And her name is, or was, Mrs. Helen K. Crabtree. And I was her last rider. Myself and a friend of mine, Vicki Gillenwater, we were her last. So the title of the book is The Last Crabtree Girl. And my journals I kept back then, I brought them to life in this book. And right now that's going pretty well. American Saddlebred people are popping up all over the place. And what's really unique about that book is how it's finding old friends from back then, and they're reuniting, and it's bringing up their own memories. So it's not just here I'm sharing my memories of writing back then, but I'm bringing up their own memories about that time. So it's a real unique thing. So that one was about to be published, and my husband and I went on a vacation, and we were going down the Rhine River, and pop, what happens? I spit out another book, but this one is for middle grade kids, and I have been getting some amazing reviews. Funny thing is, they're not on Amazon. They're coming in text, emails, and these kids are drawing.
Picture you posted this morning on your Facebook page.
Yes, yes,
so sweet.
Yes, my Facebook author page is R.A. Anderson author, and let me tell you, just those little pictures. I have dozens of them now, so I'm going to start sharing them a little at a time. But these children, I get messages from teachers and parents and grandparents saying that their child was behind in reading, started reading my book, and their nose isn't out of it. So I don't know what I did to deserve that, but I'm so happy.
You know, I've read the book. I read the manuscript. It's educational, but it's a little bit of magic. Reminds me a little Harry Potterish. You know, you've got the mysterious world out there, but there's so many facts, and you're teaching them as they're reading. Was that done intentionally, or you just snuck it in there like vegetables?
Sort of both. It's definitely intentional. I was not a history fan when I was younger. It would put me to sleep. And my dad was, if you read Girl Sailing Aboard the Western Star, you know, my dad is just always telling us facts. And I'm like, the snore effect happens.
I hear you.
So I guess I was so worried that I couldn't get this across, but yet as I got older, I love history. Not that I'll go read one of those books ever again, but when I go to places, Greece, anywhere in Europe, Iceland, I just dive into the facts. And so on Once Upon the Rhine, they're all facts going down the river. It's exactly where we stopped. It's what we saw, the history. I sneak in a date here or there. I'm not a real big date person. But I do sneak it in. And I have just completely put it in like vegetables.
So our main character is a cockatrice.
Yeah.
I'd not heard of this before your book. Could you please tell our listeners what a cockatrice is?
Well, it's a mix of a mythological creature. And if you look him up, he's a very kind of mean creature. And I didn't like that. Although these mean creatures are all over water fountains in Basel, Switzerland. And I'm like, why are they so mean looking? Well, I heard that they can kill with a stare, or with their stares, if they meet eye to eye, they turn you into stone and that kind of thing. And I was like, well, that's not pleasant, but why are they all over Basel, and why are they on the fountains where you drink, I mean, drinkable water, here we go. So I just started researching about them, and I thought it was a shame that they were so mean, but why can't they use their mean for good? So I wish I had a godparent like a cockatrice, so a cockatrice godparent, a CGP. And and he could help. He has magical powers, not too wizardly, but he's very strong and very fast, and very small and sneaky. But his weakness, he has a very big weakness, and he shares that with me. I love chocolate, so he's a chocoholic.
I understand. I relate.
And but this creature, when he was brought into the world of my world, he helps children with maybe needing a little extra needs, like not like terrible. I mean, some are allergies, some are asthma, and some are HCM. So two of my three children in the book, Brody and Bryant, have HCM, and he is there to kind of help them out, guide them. He's not a crutch, but he's just there to support. And mainly it's just mental support. He brings a lot of life to everyone in the book. And boy, is he a character. But can I show you what he's going to look like?
Absolutely.
So I created the real Cody the Cockatrice.
So cute. Like his little heart tail.
His
little heart tail, everybody. See that? I'm going to read from the book so people understand what he is.
Oh, sure.
And I don't have my glasses on today, so this should be a bit fun. Where was it? Here it is. I'm a cockatrice, an extraordinary hybrid cockatrice dragon, protector and guardian of children. A cockatrice is fathered by a rooster, mothered by a lizard, and hatched by a toad. So they're true blood relations to dragons. And I just love that imagery. My daughter's going to love that. I haven't read this to her yet. Well, she's 25. She can read it herself. But she loves dragons.
Speaking of that, reading too, this book happens to be going on Audible in February. And I have an amazing, actually, I'm spilling the beans here, but I have an amazing narrator who is an actor narrator, and he's from England. And he has an amazing voice. It gave me goosebumps all over. Just, he just made Cody's voice come alive, and he's fabulous at Brody's voice. So it was, I can't wait for people to hear him.
That's going to be awesome. So that is, I think we have to have an event when that launches. We have to have like a reading. We'll listen to him for a little bit and let everybody hear what it's like. But I think the book is great for the community because it normalizes our existence a little bit by, we're just another subject for another children's book. And there are children with HCM who I think will really benefit from reading this book, and families with HCM. We all need a little magic in our life, especially in 2020. So bringing in this little magical being who is really kind of cute. And I have to show everybody what I showed you before. Anybody who knows me knows butterflies are very important to me. They're a symbol of my sister. And those who are even closer know that dragonflies are a symbol of my father. And on the front of the book, we have a little butterfly and a little dragonfly with the little heart tail. You can't, here he is up here, his little heart tail. So like, I'm gonna like start to like cockatrices and these crazy little beings.
And then you're gonna look them up and go, "Ooh, they're mean looking."
I like your version of the cockatrice. I don't necessarily know that I'll like the one in Basel, but I think I like yours better.
Cody the cockatrice is pretty special.
I think he is. I think it's going to be a great story, and the stuffed animals will be available in January. You said we're going to make them available through HCMA. We're going to work on that. Right now, you can get a copy of the book from the HCMA site because Ruth Ann was kind enough to donate a few. So your purchase price is a donation to the HCMA. So thank you for that. And we are really hoping that maybe, what's going to happen in book 2? I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen in book 2? And we'll come back hopefully at some point in the future and learn about that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So I will open it up if anybody has any questions. I have to turn off my mute here because these Zoom links to Facebook are great, except for it's very hard to field the questions and see what you guys are actually saying. So I don't know that where's my, I got to turn down the volume. Sorry. Okay, so no questions as of yet. I'll give you a second. If you have a question or a comment, feel free to post it in now, and we'll get that going in a few minutes. What else do you want people to know about your book?
It's, I guess I could start with, it's basically 2nd to 5th grade reading level. It's a short little read. The kids seem to love it. It's new. It just was published a little over a month ago. It's, book 2 is pretty much done, but it won't be published till March.
So you got to get the first one done so you can read the second one. I'm making you the Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling of HCM, or like we need to have the next book. We'll stay up at midnight. We'll stand out in Barnes and Nobles. No, only kidding. So it's about 100 pages in the soft cover.
No, I forgot.
34 in a hardcover. We have the soft covers by us. And then there's a little note to the community here at the end where she talks about the HCMA. So I was in 2 books in one day. This is like a big day for me.
I think it's very important to spread the word about HCM, and also I'm sharing HCM through a child's eyes and how he felt. And actually, Brody is my son, Brody. They don't exactly match, but I just love using Brody's name. But it was through Brody's eyes and how he feels that people treat him and how he's dealing with how he lives. And I know every HCM, warrior is a little different or a lot different, but this one will give you how he's trying to live as normal as possible. Sorry, I get choked up every time I talk about my own child. I need to just put it back to the child in the book.
The child in the book is your child, and your life is mirrored through all of your work, which is a beautiful way of, memorializing and polishing up some of the things in our past as well. I find that with writing too. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to mention that part. I'll just go that part. But the experience of being a parent to an HCM child is a unique journey. And we do it in all of our own ways. And there's not exactly a playbook for this. You have to work with the child and somebody's knocking on my door. The healthcare system. Hold on.
So I love being live.
I know. I'm like, oh, nobody ever knocks on my door. But I think that's my daughter's new cell phone arriving. So he probably wanted a signature, and I didn't give it to him. But so it's okay. So everybody's experience with HCM as a parent is different. And as a child, I've been a child with HCM. I've been a parent of a child with HCM. People do look at you differently sometimes. Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself in ways that don't quite seem fair and explain why you need something done a little differently, or why you need a little more time to rest, or why you are frustrated that you can't do all the things that everybody else can do. So to put that in a child's story and let children start to understand that there are different people out there with different problems, and they look okay on the outside, but on the inside they might not be. I think that's really an important message and an important contribution to the HCM community and to parents and children out there. So I would put this on the recommended reading list for kids after diagnosis, even teenagers. Even though it's a little bit young, I think young teens could probably get a lesson or two from this and maybe connect with it. And then parents, good reading. It's good reading for the kids. It's an interesting story. Andy happens to have HCM. It's not all HCM. He's a normal kid and he has HCM. And I think that's fantastic.
And if you want to go on a river cruise down the Rhine River, I actually, following my book is basically the whole trip. So, and where we stopped and what we saw is what we really saw on our real trip.
So if anybody's considering a trip, it might be something that they want to take a look at a time. Maybe they're adult. I don't think anybody's traveling anywhere right now. We're all just sitting home, and I'm going to bake some cookies this weekend. It's going to be my excitement. And maybe I'll deliver some Christmas surprises around my community. But otherwise, we're all staying pretty darn close to home. So we encourage y'all to do so and stay safe. And not that it's a topic for this conversation, but earlier today, I had a great talk with you and Ashley from Stanford, and we covered some stuff on the vaccine. If anybody wants to go watch that, I'm going to kind of snip that piece out and send it out as a separate piece, because it's really important that we all talk about getting vaccinated. And yes, we're here to talk about a children's book, but we got to end this thing. We all got to do it together, and we have to work with facts. And Dr. Ashley provided some great ones earlier today. So I would encourage you to go back and look at that. So that was about it. Ruth Ann, I cannot thank you enough for your imagination, your sharing your imagination, and your acknowledgement of HCM and the HCM community in your book. I'm very much looking forward to the second in the series to see what our little Cockatrice does next. And I'm really happy that you were able to share some time with us today and talk about the book.
Thank you for having me on again. And I really appreciate it and all you do for everyone with HCM and the community, and even us mothers of warrior, the parent warriors. I can't thank you enough again.
You are very welcome. I'm happy that the HCMA has been able to do this. You dropped some news today. Maybe I will too. The HCMA just found out this afternoon, or this morning actually, that we are about to receive a pretty substantial grant for the purpose of reaching out to communities of color. So we are going to be doing some specific initiatives to reach out to the specifically Latino and Black communities of HCM patients and engage them in our community a little bit more, make sure that they all have the help and support that they need. And I'm just thrilled that, and I'll give a public notice later on this, that we're given this grant. It was kind of out of left field, and I'm really honored that they believe in our work enough that they think that we can do this. So I'm really looking forward to reaching out to these new communities, getting them involved with our work, and making sure that nobody with HCM is undiagnosed, undertreated, or mismanaged.
That's amazing. Yay!
That's a good day. It may still be 2020, but you can find the good moments in it. So we've got 2 wonderful books to talk about today from very different spectrums. And we have a fantastic community that we're building up here. And Ruth Ann, we're happy to have you as part of it. Thank you so much. And thanks to those who are watching on Facebook. And we'll see you again in the next couple of weeks. We have a whole agenda we're going to roll out for 2021 Tales from the Heart podcast. So you'll be able to mark your calendar and hear your favorite doctors speak. So stay tuned for that. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Tales from the Heart. For more information on HCM, we encourage you to visit our website at 4hcm.org. Join us online for the conversation on our Facebook page or in our private group. Facebook page can be found at Hypertrophic Cardiomyopathy Association, and our Instagram handle is at 4HCM Warriors. That's the number 4 HCM Warriors. Follow us on Twitter at 4hcm.org. For those members of the LinkedIn community, you may want to follow the conversation on the Hypertrophic Cardiomyopathy Association group. Join us today. To contact the Hypertrophic Cardiomyopathy Association, you can call 973-983-7429. You can email us at support@4hcm.org or visit us online at our website, 4hcm.org, and send us an email from there. The Hypertrophic Cardiomyopathy Association is located in New Jersey and operates on East Coast time. We would like to thank our sponsors, Myocardia, Invitae, Boston Scientific, and Cytokinetics for their support of this program. Please remember to sign up for the HCM Strong Tour, Big Hearted Warriors Unite. Our virtual tour will begin September 3rd and include dates September 17th, October 8th, October 10th, October 24th, October 29th, November 12th, December 3rd, and December 10th. A few other events will be added. Check the updated registration information at 4hcm.org. Hope to see you at one of our upcoming meetings. The HCMA is partnering with Myocardia, 23andMe, and others to help learn more about hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Learn more about these initiatives at 4hcm.org. Invitae, a genetic testing company and a sponsor of Tales from the Heart, is proud to provide free genetic testing to families with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Please learn more at 4hcm.org. Hey, we know life with HCM can be challenging, and support is critical. That's why the HCMA has created an online support group system to help you and your loved ones live better with HCM. Join us. The HCMA is seeking volunteers on a number of different projects, including our online support group system, our peer-to-peer Big Hearted Friends system, and our legislative subcommittee. Please visit 4hcm.org to learn more today.